So getting into trouble and then, suffering in prison is not worth it.
Jayden was determined to turn his life around and planned on pursuing his studies after his release in October 2012.
I think it's like retuning yourself, changing your mindset of life, having different goals and realizing that life is more than drugs and violence and all that. Since young, I've sort of been fascinated with buildings. So I jumped at the opportunity to study that.
Jayden managed to secure himself a place in the diploma course in construction engineering with the Building and Construction Authority Academy. However, he did not want to financially strain his parents with the course fees.
I remember my reintegration officer telling me about Yellow Ribbon Fund, and I actually applied for it. I think it has allowed me to concentrate more on my studies rather than worry about financial difficulties. Because the bursary also gives me an allowance monthly that covers my expenses.
The Yellow Ribbon Star Bursary is one of the programs supported by the Yellow Ribbon Fund. The man behind the Yellow Ribbon Fund is none other than Mr. Philip Tan, who took over the chairmanship of Yellow Ribbon Fund in 2006. He has since contributed significantly to the development of programs to help ex-offenders and their families.
The most important thing to give people back people's pride is to give them a job, give them a livelihood. With a livelihood, they can look after themselves and they can also look after their family. So in this case, we thought that giving them a bursary and helping them to equip them with skills and helping them to find a job so that they can have a livelihood will be very useful.
Mr. Philip Tan started his journey when he personally encountered ex-offenders in prisons as a visiting justice.
I find that many of them actually regret what they've done and they do want to have a change. And to see them telling me their stories, some of them, and how they want to change, it helps me to think that they should be given a second chance. I can see that the prison officers, from the head of prisons, the director of prisons at that time, down to the prison officers, they are so committed to it. They really believe in giving a second chance and helping the inmates or the ex-offenders to come back to society. Another thing which touches me, obviously, is the suffering of the family members. If a prisoner is incarcerated, it's not just a prisoner, it is the families who's also suffering mentally, physically. Some of them get sick maybe because of a lot of worries and because of inadequate diet. Especially the children. The children are really the innocent victims, and I really wanted to see what I can do to help them.
All this has encouraged him to do more for the ex-offenders and their families.
Whether it's a prisoner who's going to suffer capital punishment, whether it's the children laughter, the little bits of things we do have actually make people happy. I think that is something which I think is important. And I always believe, although I'm not Christian, one of the prayers says that it's about pardon. If there's injury, you give pardon. It's in pardoning that we ourselves get pardoned. So I think that's very meaningful for me, because which one of us or who among us do not make mistakes?
I'd like to thank the organizations that has contributed to making this Yellow Ribbon Bursary possible, because I think you might not see it, but actually it affects the daily lives of people and it really brings about change. Because I experienced it.
When we talk about ex-offenders' reintegration journey, we are talking about them going back to a society where they came from. And it's important that when they actually get a sense of belonging, a place where they feel accepted, and also a place where they feel that they can contribute again. We have heard of the saying, it takes a village to raise a kid, but it takes a community to reintegrate an ex-offender back to society. Basically,
I feel very grateful. I feel that help is really available. It's not just something that people talk about. Yeah. So help is real. It's tangible. You can feel it. Yeah.